Hello all. In this video, we are going to take a look at Mediapipe's facial landmark detector, and I'm going to show you some code I have that again basically is modified from the tutorial code that they provide on their website to set up to work with a webcam. And we'll take a look at some of the information that you can get out of the facial landmarker, including some information about blend shapes, which can be useful for detecting facial expressions and other things like that. All right, I am going to take a look at some information on my slides that I've put together about this. I need to move myself back here. Okay. So if you look at this, what you will see is an example of what you get from the facial landmark detector. And so I've used Mediapipe's tools to draw the facial landmark mesh on my face. And it's important to understand that this is actually quite a complicated detector. It's not just one model that we're accessing. Unlike the face detector, this actually incorporates the face detector as one piece of it. But it also runs the face landmark model, and it also runs a separate model to detect blend shapes, which are basically movements of parts of your face. So they have things like the inner part of your eyebrow being up or down, and your lip turning up at the corner, and so forth. So these three models are all being run together to produce the results. My understanding is the face detector is run first, and then the faces are extracted and run into the landmark model. And then the landmark model produces this mesh, and then the blend shapes model is run on those landmarks to determine the blend shapes themselves. There are about 475 landmarks on the face. There are a lot. And there are 53 different blend shapes that you can look at. All right, I'm going to go and take a look at the program that I have just to show you briefly what it looks like and point out a few things that are different from the face detector that I've talked about in an earlier video. So here is the face landmarker. There are slightly different tools being loaded here. I just picked tools that actually worked for this particular model or detector object. And I'm loading the model and using just the standard options to set it up. And then the rest of this is exactly the same as what we did with the face detector. We read some frames, we convert them to RGB format, we make them into Mediapipe images, and we pass that to the detector. And then we are calling a function called visualize results that I created that encapsulates the visualization commands that are in the tutorials on the Mediapipe website. So it's not doing anything super special here. I will run it. And I'm going to switch over so you can see the whole screen. So you can see that it is fairly good. It's detecting quite a few different features. And it highlights not just like an oval around the face, but also eyes and eyebrows, because those tend to be important for facial expressions, and the mouth as well. Those extra highlights are really just for us more than anything else. But they may. All right, so let's take a look now at the data that you get back. So the detector returns information. It's quite complicated, as you might expect. The face landmarker result is an object that contains all of the information. There are two sets within it. There is a face landmarks list and a face blend shapes list. Each element in the sublist corresponds to faces. So if you are detecting multiple faces, you will get at the same position in that list. You'll find in the first list you'll find the landmarks, and in the second list you'll find the blend shapes. Does that make sense? Each position in the paired lists corresponds to a face that's been detected. So at position 0 in the face landmarks, you have the landmarks that go along with the blend shapes at position 0. They correspond to the same face. The face landmark list contains sublists, and these sublists are 475 some long lists of normalized landmarks. So you just have a great big huge list with all of the landmarks in it exactly in a particular order. And they, as normalized landmarks, they're similar to the key points we were looking at before. They've got X, Y, and Z coordinates. The blend shapes lists, each element in the overall blend shapes list is a list of category objects that identify for each blend shape category how strongly that seems to be present in the face. So each of these, there would be 53 elements in the CL1 list, and each one is a different blend shape, and you have a score for that one, for each one, which tells how strongly it's present. So for as complicated as the result is and as fancy as it looks when you display it on the image, this is relatively simple and straightforward data. You've got an overall object. It has two lists inside of it. Each list contains one kind of data that is itself stored in a list. So it's not super hard to work with, but it does allow you to do things like detect particular facial expressions, tell whether someone's eyes are open or closed, is their mouth open or closed, and maybe even whether they're happy, sad, angry, those kinds of things. All right, so this has been a very quick introduction to the facial landmark detector. In the next video, I'm going to look at hand detection, and then we'll go on from there.